Minecraft's community has made Minecraft one of the most cursed games, and there's one creator who is pioneering in this. Mick Mackenstein. Over years of making interesting and strange additions to Minecraft, they've produced some incredible things. So let's look at some of the best. Most recently, he made a data pack that adds a block he's dubbed Bending Super Pistons, which, as the name implies, are bendable pistons that still work like normal. So you can create some really cool things, and these could theoretically go on forever, just at the expense of your PC. Another one of their interesting creations happens to be when you drop an anvil on a diamond block. It creates one of the game's most cursed things, a diamond ball. But more than just looking pretty cool, there's actually a really OP use to this. You can push them, and the further they go, the more diamonds that'll explode out of it when it breaks. And that's just a couple of the insane cursed things he's added to Minecraft. Subscribe, please. This probably seems like one of the harder speedruns you can do for Minecraft, getting a full set of iron armor and 15 levels of experience. But surprisingly, it was done in just 35 seconds. The speedrunner who attained this time goes by Sammy MC. First, let's talk about the world they spawn in. When you spawn in, it puts you near an easily obtainable treasure chest that has a good start for a full set of armor. They also take 2 gold ingots, some emeralds, and a TNT. These are going to be useful in a couple moments, because along with the treasure chest, you also spawn directly in a village. And also, there's another treasure chest. So this will get you the remaining iron for the full set. Now they put that gold and TNT to good use by making a pressure plate and blowing up the TNT near these wheat bales. But they quickly leave it behind to go to this house with a crafting table, and they make the armor. They rapidly go back to where the TNT was and pick up the hay bales. They trade their emeralds for the first 7 levels, then they craft more wheat and trade that for more emeralds. Lastly, using those to trade for everything in the shop. With all of this, Sammy MC got to 15 levels and broke the world record with a time of 35.5 seconds. What's the fastest you can get the actual best item in the game? A cake. This was done in 15 seconds. And what you need to craft one of these magical pastries is 3 milk, 2 sugar, 3 wheat, and lastly, an egg. This speedrun was done by 100pxx. So let's look at how it was done. First, speedrunners make sure to use this seed to get the best spawn, as well as using version 1.8.9. This seed spawns them directly in a village to make it the easiest to get the ingredients needed. 100pxx spawns in on top of the village well, so they jump down and gather up some carrots and potatoes to then go to this villager to trade for some emeralds. That levels up the villager to where they can now trade an emerald for bread. This levels it up a final time, allowing for the biggest thing in this speedrun. Remember when I told you how to craft a cake? Well, forget all of that, because once you level up a villager high enough, it allows you to just straight up buy a cake. So they rush through all the trades, getting to the end where the cake is. They buy it and place it down, making this the end of the run at an insane 15 seconds. Did you know in Minecraft, the more you move while in fire, the longer you will be in fire once you leave? Which makes sense, right? The best thing to do while in fire is to stay in the fire. Wait, let's go over the basics. You won't stand fire when you leave unless you stand in it for more than 1.5 seconds or until you take fire damage 3 times. In fire, you take damage once per half a second, and outside of it, you take damage once every second. Initially, once you leave fire, you'll burn for 8 seconds if you don't move at all when in it. And no matter what, the amount of time you're in the fire doesn't matter if you don't move. It will stay at 8 seconds. But the time you're burning will slowly get longer and longer the more that you're moving in the fire, including moving your mouse. So if you have to stay in the fire, what you should do is jump. This will just keep resetting the timer so you never actually catch on fire. Or you could just put it out. Subscribe, please. In Minecraft, there's been one Easter egg that almost everybody knows, that you can name certain animals different things with a name tag, and it will change how it looks or acts. But do you know all of them? Let's start with the overwhelmingly most known trick, Dinner Bone, or you can also use Grum. Named after employees at the time, these will turn any mob you give the name tag to upside down. Another probably equally as known trick is Jeb underscore. Also named after an employee, this can be given to a sheep to make it turn rainbow. Now, this one is kinda sad. Giving the name Toast to a rabbit will change it to this skin that can't spawn naturally. Toast was the name of a Minecraft player's real-life bunny that sadly went missing sometime in 2014. This player then made a Reddit post asking Mojang to add Toast into the game so that they can remember him every time they play. And lastly, this is probably the most unknown name tag trick. Did you know that Vindicators will completely change how they act when you name them Johnny? When you give them the name, they will wield an axe and run around attacking anything it can, even including bosses. sources.
Subscribe, please.
Did you know in Minecraft, it's possible to make an infinite water source with only one water bucket? Well, there's actually two ways. The first one uses a cauldron and a glass bottle. First, place down the water bucket and cauldron. Start filling up the cauldron with the bottle, and once it's full, you can grab a bucket and take out the water. Now you have two water sources, allowing for you to make an infinite water source. Now the second way is even easier than the first, because all you need for it is kelp, and that's it. Make a hole and place the water bucket above it. Put your kelp in the hole and take back the original water source block. Now this gives you two sources, and you can once again make an infinite water source. You can also very easily make a water elevator with kelp by just placing a water bucket at the top, a kelp at the bottom, and using bone meal to grow the kelp all the way up. This will make every block a water source so the bubbles can float through.
Subscribe, please.
Minecraft is a game full of many satisfying things, just like in a new update where you can use entity cramming to create what I like to call a skulk biome. Now, somewhat in the same vein, watching grass and mycelium fight is definitely one of the tried and trues of satisfying things in Minecraft. Another one is going into creative mode, grabbing some end crystals and placing them in the same block so to make this cool looking ball thing, or even making a cool pattern out of it. But eventually the lag will probably blow up your PC, just like something else in this game. But you can turn these terrible, stupid, idiotic, no good, dumb, bad, annoying, stupid, bad creepers into a terrified, satisfying object for our amusement by simply putting it in a box with a cat. I could watch this for days. Now, isn't it always satisfying when you're building the best house you've ever made, and just when you finish up, you realize you had the perfect amount of blocks? Just like when you're mining and you find a diamond vein, but after you mine it all up, you look in your inventory and realize that it gave you a perfect stack.
Subscribe, please.